I'm itching to commit a robbery.
You've never committed a robbery before?
Never committed a robbery before. Got arrested for committing 7 armed robberies in one night.
That took a sharp turn.
Yeah. So I was born in a white picket fence, wasn't supposed to be on this podcast type of thing, like I was, I everything was supposed to just be normal, regular.
Right.
And then finally at the age of 16 and a half, I made the worst. It was a small decision. And like I always tell people today the small decisions are everything. I made one really bad small decision that ruined my life for the next 10, 15 years ahead.
Okay.
After a football game, Friday night, I went out, me and some friends, and we went to drink for the first time. It was like in a very strict household. My mom was very serious. My coaches, everything was, football. But I didn't want to be left out. Some friends asked me, Shawn, let's go out and drink. And I went out and I drank, smoked a cigarette for the first time. And instantly, just like that, I didn't realize it, but my love of football was on the back burner. And my new love would be this drug-filled party lifestyle. And it all happened like one after the next, like a domino effect. So after every Friday night, after my football games, we're going out, we're drinking, we're partying. Friday night turned into Saturday night, drinking and partying. And then it turned into trying other things. A year into this lifestyle, from age 16 and a half to 17 and a half, going into my senior year of high school, I'm a full-blown drug addict. I'm waking up. The second I wake up in the morning till I go to sleep at night, I'm on some type of substance. And it got to a point where I'm doing painkillers, trying everything. I tried pretty much everything that you can imagine up until that point, but it was mostly just the weed and the alcohol. So now going into my senior year, my coaches told me, they said, Shawn, like they knew what was going on with me. They knew that I'm the quarterback. And I forgot to mention too, I was the starting quarterback of the team. I was the star of the team. I was the dream of going to college in the NFL.
So they're paying attention to you, and let's face it, the other team members are probably saying, "Look, this is a problem." Somebody's probably the people probably tipping them off. Like
exactly,
people don't think that. They think, "Oh yeah, I'm good." You're not good, bro. Other people are going to see it and they're going to say something.
Exactly,
and then they just kind of get a feeling, even if there's nothing. You just have intuition with people. They know something's wrong.
Yep. My coaches, they could smell it. My mom, she was my biggest coach. She could smell it. She could see it in my eyes. She saw something was off. The only problem was I was still performing well.
Right.
So it was allowing me almost for the coaches to like brush it to the side. Okay, as long as he's throwing touchdown passes, it's fine. Let's, if we're winning and we're doing well, it's okay. So, but they told me, my head coach going into my senior year in the summer, he said to me, Shawn, they do random drug tests over here. We're at a Catholic private school. It's real serious. Mm-hmm. Just stop doing it. Worry about the season, stay straight. So I took that serious, and I'm a very spiritual person today. That was like my first spiritual moment, the summer going into my senior year, where the first time ever I prayed to God and I said, God, please give me a good football season, and I'm going to quit the drugs cold turkey, everything that I'm on. And just like that, I quit the drugs. And the first 3 games of the season, I don't know if familiar with football stats, I had like 11 touchdown passes and like 1,100 passing yards in my first 3 games. So
I'm impressed, but that doesn't mean anything. I don't know anything, but yeah.
So for it, in high school, it's a lot. It's like, so you're averaging around three touchdowns a game. It's a lot of passing yards. And,
right.
And now scouts are coming to look at me. I'm living my dream right here. I'm saying, wow, like if I keep going in this way, I'm going to college for sure, to Division I for sure. And it's also a spiritual aspect. It's like, wow, God is answering my prayers. And I'm playing well. Going into we played Friday nights. Thursday night, of the third week that we had the game, a friend comes up to me and he says to me, Shawn, let's go out and smoke some. And I didn't realize how bad my addiction was at the time. I didn't think about random drug tests. What are the odds of a test coming? I went out, I smoked some with him. Following morning, Friday, I'm sitting in class I get called up for a random drug test. They call me into the office. I had to pee in the cup. It would have to go to a lab. So the following week, I wouldn't find out until if it's positive or negative. I was the only person who knew it was going to come up positive for weed.
Right.
So I went out that night, Friday night, onto the football field. I literally threw an interception, first play of the game, because my mind was so messed up. I knew that I was going to fail the drug test. After the game, my coach came up to me and he said to me, Shawn, like, are you on drugs? Are you high or something? Something was off with me. And I told him, Coach, I got drug tested. And he knew exactly what that meant.
This is an issue.
It's an issue. And following week, Monday came around, don't hear anything about the test. Tuesday comes around, nothing again. And then at night at practice, I get called into an office. You have the dean, the coach, and the principal of the school is over there. And they said to me, Shawn, we don't care that you're the starting quarterback, the star of this team. You failed. Your drug test came back positive. You're kicked off the team. Your career here is over. And if you can imagine the devastation.
For one test, like they don't even give it a chance to straighten up.
So, no, they were serious.
Zero. Was it zero?
Zero tolerance policy.
Yeah.
And they didn't care. Obviously it was my fault. But the devastation that you can imagine from that was intense. Because it was my dream. It wasn't only just my dream, it was my mom, my parents, my brother, everybody was seeing wow, he's gonna do this for our family.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a devastation to my teammates, to my coaches, to the community, because football is a big deal in Las Vegas. It was heartbreaking. And knowing what I know now today as an adult, I understand if you fall down, you can always get back up. You make mistakes, always can get back up. There's always a second chance. As a 17-and-a-half-year-old kid, I didn't realize that. So I decided to become like the devil, almost like the worst person that you could possibly imagine. I dropped out of school. Week after that, I said, I'm going to become a full-time criminal, a full-time drug addict. I'm now, for the next 2 years of my life, on like 5 different drugs every single day. All these painkillers and anxiety painkillers that you could think of, alcohol, drinking every single day. And on top of that, because I felt like my life was over and I didn't even want to have a life anymore, I started stealing every single day, like petty theft. But every single day for the next 2 years, whether it would be from people in their locker rooms or phones or whatever it is, I'm stealing. I'm just like all day, every day, drugs and stealing. Until I got to a point.
What's your mom and dad saying?
So at this point, my dad wasn't really in the picture.
At this point, he's kind of gone.
He was kind of gone since the divorce.
Right.
He never really got back into my life like that until much later, until I went to prison eventually. But my mom, she tried everything. She couldn't stop me.
Mm-hmm.
She tried to put me in rehab, wouldn't listen. She tried to get ex-coaches or rabbis to come try to talk to me and get me straight. Nothing worked. Nothing at all worked. And she's just like a woman, like a Jewish mom. Like she wasn't strong enough to she tried to take me to even one of those scared straight things where they put you in handcuffs in front of like a courtroom. And I remember when I walked out, I was like, Mom, I'm not a criminal. What are we doing here? And it's funny. It eventually went away. But she tried everything. My mom tried everything.
So in this 2-year stint, like what does a normal day look like? You're still are you still living with your mom? You wake up, you go hang out with your friends, and then you go like, when you say you're robbing, stealing, like what are you doing? Go to a convenience store, kind of like take us through a day, or like a lick.
Oh, so okay, so let me go back. In the beginning, there wasn't any like robberies or burglaries or anything like that. It was just like living a life where I'm just looking for phones and money all day and doing drugs.
Why phones? How much do you get for a phone?
So back then, this was 10, 15 years ago. What I would do is you would get a phone and you would put it on Craigslist and it would sell like that day for like a few $100s.
Okay.
And if you get a few of those a day, it's
like iPhones?
iPhones, yeah.
Like where do you find a phone? Like you just
anywhere, like so I would find phones at like locker rooms, at the gym or something like that, or in a supermarket, anywhere that I could possibly find a phone. I also went to.
Phones, people, they're not walking around leaving their phones. Is this like, how are you getting?
I know they steal them in the gyms, like in the
so
gym locker rooms,
it was mostly,
or like basketball gyms. People leave them on the bleachers.
Yeah.
I've had some friends get their phones stolen.
Yeah. So literally people would turn their heads and I would snatch a phone, like in the locker room, especially. When I was like 18, I went to Boise State. I tried to like get my life together at some point.
Right.
Still heavily into the drugs, but my mom told me like, you got to get your stuff together.
One thing I've been good at is putting off doctor's appointments. You tell yourself you're going to do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow turns into next week. And when you finally make that phone call, they tell you can't get an appointment for 3 months. This episode is sponsored by ZocDoc. That's one of the reasons I like using ZocDoc. ZocDoc lets you search and compare local, in-network doctors. Instead of calling office after office, I can look through real patient reviews, read doctor profiles, and pick the one that feels right for me. I also like that you can actually see available appointment times and book them right then and right there. A lot of appointments happen within 24 to 72 hours, and sometimes you can even find a same-day opening. Best of all, it's completely free to use. Your health matters, and taking care of yourself shouldn't be complicated. Find and book the right doctor with ZocDoc. Head to ZocDoc.com/ITC to get started and check that appointment off your list today. That's ZocDoc.com/ITC.
So I went to Boise State, and that's where like most of the stealing came from. I was like stealing every single day in the locker rooms and in the gyms, from the dorms, just a straight menace. And a lot of that life, because I'm on so many drugs, like every single day, it's like a lot of it's a big blur in that time. Mm-hmm. So then eventually, after spending about a year in Idaho at Boise State, I went back to Las Vegas. Always trying to get my life together, but I couldn't really figure it out. I would get like a pizza delivery job or something like that, and I just couldn't really figure it out. So I would go back to the drugs and to the stealing or drug dealing, whatever it was. So
you're selling drugs,
dealing, and I was dealing specifically with a blood gang member.
Okay.
In Las Vegas, and he had an idea. So I put up the money for an amount of weed. I don't remember what it was, and.
Is it like $500?
No. Yeah,
1,000.
Yeah, like 1,000 or something like that. And he told me to give him half of it. It was all my money, and I'll take the other half. He's gonna go sell his half and bring it back to me, the money back to me. But I knew it was BS. I knew it was nonsense. He was gonna take some of it out. He was gonna, even if it was a little bit, he was gonna cheat me out of it. Right. I knew that. So what did I do? It wasn't the right thing to do, but it was the only option I thought at the time. I picked him up and I said, we're going to go drive and sell this to this lady, the whole thing. When we get there, I need you to hop out. Right. So it's just me, she knows. So he hopped out and I left him there just like that. And I didn't see him. And I left. Right. I went back to my side of town. He went back to his side of town.
But you did pay for all.
I paid for the whole thing.
So it's not like you ripped him off.
Exactly.
I mean, you did sort of, but you did live up to your agreement. But you didn't outright rob him.
Exactly. No.
It's not like he lost $500.
No, but he didn't. It probably wasn't the best way for me to do it. But it was the only way at the time that I felt like I'm gonna get my full amount back. So. I'm 20 years old, and I'm selling drugs at this point, and I got robbed at gunpoint. Somebody robbed me.
Where are you selling drugs? Just to friends and stuff? Or?
So yeah, to friends. Anybody in Las Vegas.
Are you standing on a corner somewhere?
No. So okay. Anybody in Vegas, like friends or anything like that, or people that I know.
Everybody just knows.
Yeah, word of mouth. Whatever.
Call Shawn. He's probably got something.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
He can get it.
Exactly, and one night, I'm selling like right out of my grandmother's garage. Somebody comes to the house to pick up, and his buddy comes around the corner and points a gun right into my face. It was like a setup. I ran into the house. I was more worried about the drugs than getting shot.
Right.
I ran into the house, and he's banging on my door. The guy who came to pick up, and then he eventually just left because I just locked the door. And like any normal person at the time, you know, I'm gonna stop living this life. I went out and I got my own protection. I went out and got my own gun. So it was strictly just for protection at this time. But then eventually, August 25th, 2015, that's when I got arrested for committing 7 armed robberies in one night.
Well, that took a sharp turn.
Yeah.
That okay. That's not protection, by the way.
Yeah. Definitely not protection. It got to a point where, and I'll give you some background on it. Like I said, I had this gun for protection. I'm selling drugs. I don't even care about life at
Which
this
is an
point.
enhancement, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. 924C. And it got to a point in my life where, and I want to back up to when I was playing football. I was a good kid, come from a good family.
Right.
The crimes that I was like committing, this criminal lifestyle was all because I was like, I didn't really want to live anymore at this point. It was just complete destruction. Sometimes you get to a point in your life where all you want to do is be destructive to yourself and unfortunately to people around you. And that's that became my life. So when I got arrested for those 7 armed robberies, I was out with some friends that night. We're at like a park. Everybody went home like 2 a.m. We were drinking and smoking at the park. I don't know how to stop. That was always my problem. I can't stop when it came to drugs or alcohol. Everybody went home 2, 3 a.m. and I'm sitting there and I don't know where this feeling came from. I'm itching to commit a robbery.
You've never committed a robbery
Never
before?
committed a robbery before.
Okay.
I'm itching because my one thing led to the next. It started so small from weed and alcohol to stealing to a gun. It was going to go until who knows where it's going to go. And I was itching to commit this crime. So I had a gun on me, and it's just so happened somebody left a ski mask in my car. It wasn't even my ski mask.
I can't even tell you how many times my friends, like, bro, you left your ski mask in my car again. Well, who are you hanging out with that has a
sketchy
ski mask?
People. Sketchy people. Yeah.
Jimmy, is this yours or is it Todd's? Like, what? How many people have a ski mask?
Yeah. So somebody, he left it. So I had it in the car. And I went to my first convenience store. I went into the store and I took my gun out, put the ski mask on. I went in the store. I'm high out of my mind. And I think I told him, give me the effing money, whatever it is. Where's the safe? Give me the effing money.
I hate losing my wallet. You check your pockets, the car, the counter, and for about 5 minutes, you're in full panic mode, wondering where it went. That's one of the reasons I like the Ridge wallet. Ridge makes sleek, durable wallets that keep everything tight and organized. No more bulky wallets stuffed with receipts and junk you never use. And now they've got something really smart. They brought back their legendary sweepstakes, and Tony Hawk's is their official spokesperson. 2 winners get to choose between a Lamborghini Storado, a Hennessy Velociraptor, a custom Bronco, or $100,000 in cash. Personally, I'm taking the Lamborghini. There are only about 1,500 in existence, and somehow Ridge is giving you a chance to win one. And the best part is, you can enter completely free at ridge.com. If you pick up Ridge gear during the sweepstakes, you can also earn additional entries. Ready to upgrade your wallet and maybe your ride? For a limited time only, head to ridge.com and use promo code COX at checkout for 10% off your order and a chance to win Ridge's biggest sweepstake ever. A Lamborghini Storado, a Hennessy Velociraptor, Ford Bronco, or $100,000 in cash. No purchase necessary to enter, but every dollar you spend gets you more entries. That's ridge.com and use promo code COX, C-O-X. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them Inside True Crime sent you.
I didn't even know what I was doing, right?
Right.
It was such a small amount of money that I took, and I was looking for a safe. I didn't even know what I was doing. Like I said,
how much was it?
It was like less than $1,000 for the whole night.
Right.
So I went in there. I took the money from the register. And then after that, I got it back into my car. I popped some more pills and I went on to another one.
What was the reaction of the cashier? Are
Yeah.
they like,
The
are they
man,
fighting
woman,
back
old,
or?
young?
This is gonna be funny, but I gotta tell the truth.
Right.
None of them were afraid.
Right.
I'm not like, I guess I'm not a scary guy, or I'm not the normal criminal. And even after I got arrested, my lawyer hired a private investigator to interview each and every one of them and to ask them, are they scared? Do they need therapy? Not one of them were scared. They felt bad for what I was going through. And so they weren't nervous. I mean, maybe they were. I was high. I don't know. But from what I saw, they weren't afraid. And so I went from that one and I did 6 more after that.
How much money did you get from the first one?
Yeah, the first one. How much was
Like,
it?
So the first
$20,
one,
$80?
no, the first
100?
one was like $100 maybe, something
Right.
like that. The first one was 100. The next one, the same thing. It came out to a total of like less than $1,000.
And is there a game plan, or you're just, okay, I'm driving, and where's the next convenience store? Oh, there's a
Yeah.
7-Eleven.
Yeah,
I'm just pulling
So
something in.
it was really like a rush at this point. So after the first one, the rush that came, I'm not proud of it, but the rush that came from it was like, whoa, I have to keep going. And I kept going and kept going.
And you're driving your car?
And I'm driving my car. And even at one point, I'm driving one way. After the like 3rd or 4th robbery, 2 or 3 cop cars with their lights are driving the other way back to where I just robbed the gas station from. And so I just went on to do 7 of these total.
And do you? I'm sorry, I keep asking.
good,
like I kind of, this is kind of the main
Yeah,
crime piece.
Yeah.
Like when you walk in, like what are you walking around? Are you scanning the place, or you're just walking straight in? Hey, give me the money in the bag. Like, and are they all the exact same? Are they all different?
Yeah. What are like?
Because the normal average truck driver, drywaller, has never robbed a convenience store.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So what's it look like in the gas station?
What's it look like?
No,
like what do you do? Like what are you thinking?
Right.
What's the process?
Like you know, are you pulling up? You know, I'm making sure my car's not on camera. I'm walking a block.
Yeah.
You know, or I'm parking way over here because I don't think there's a camera. I walk in. Do I make sure that nobody's in the fucking store?
Yeah.
Do I open it up and scream? Get on the fucking ground.
Yeah.
Are you trying to be menacing? Are you walking in and casually like, hey, can I get I got a gun.
Yeah.
Can I get some money?
So I think the first one, I parked in the back.
Okay.
Parked in the back of the gas station.
Right.
Like by the dumpster or something like that. And I went in like real secretive. And I told him, give me the effing money from the safe. And I said that the same thing on each one. But after like the first 2 or something like that, I'm high out of my mind, like on my whole concoction of drugs. After the first like couple of them, I'm not even parking in the back. I was just like going out right to the front, putting the ski mask on, going in, give me the effing money.
Are these like 7-Elevens?
7-Elevens, yeah, convenience stores.
I understand, but I mean, are they all the same, or are they shitty? Like, are they Wawas, or are other people in the? So you know what a Wawa is?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, like they're big. You can go through. You go in like the hood, and you get this shitty little convenience store.
So it's fun. So this was in Vegas, like in the suburb areas,
right?
The night before like high school and college started, there wasn't a single person in any of those gas stations.
Okay. It's also in the middle of the night.
Middle of the night, like 3 a.m. Yeah. There wasn't a single person.
Do any of these cashiers give you any pushback? Like, or are they all just immediately like, here you go?
Yeah, so they didn't give me any pushback.
Plus, they also know there's no money.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
because they get to like $100 or $200. They put it in that, they slide in the safe thing. And they can't get to it.
Exactly. Yep.
So how long does it take to do 6? Was it 6 or 7?
It was 7 of them.
How long does it take?
That took like 2 or 3 hours.
Right.
2 or 3 hours. And then after the last one, I don't know what made me stop, but I stopped because, like I said, it was like a thrill. I drove home. I started driving home, and 5 minutes into driving home, somebody starts tailing me, and I'm high out of my mind. I'm like, what the heck is this? I don't know what it is. And then I realized it was a cop. And he starts following me for like 5 minutes. And like I said, I'm so high out of my mind. I'm like, I forgot almost like what I just did. I'm like, is it my tail light or my speed? I don't even know what's going on. So after 5 minutes, they pull me over with like 5 cop cars. sirens on, everything, and they yell out on the microphone, throw the keys out of the ignition, get the F out of the car, and like crazy, a whole thing.
I take that very seriously.
Yeah,
I don't think I got no sense of humor about that.
Yeah, they were, and they took me out of the car, handcuffed me, put me in the back of the car.
You still have the gun in the car?
So the gun,
ski mask, gun, the whole thing?
Everything, I put it underneath my seat. Like
that's a great space. That's a great hiding space. I'll never find it.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's really stupid, this whole thing. Like, just being so high, I'm thinking, okay, let me put it underneath the seat. This is how messed up I was. They're not going to sit. So they take me, they put me in the back of the car, and I was 20 years old at the time, drove me off to the jail to get booked and fingerprinted. And you know, when I finally got there, they put me in the holding cell. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just a kid. I was terrified. And I'm sitting in there, you know, I see real criminals. You know, it smells bad in the holding tank, and I'm thinking to myself, because I'm sobering up now after sitting in there for 12 hours, whatever it is. I sober up, not just from a night's worth of drugs. For the past 4 years, I'm on drugs every single day. When I sober up, I'm looking at my charges: 8 armed robberies, 8 burglaries. I'm like, what the heck? And, you know, guys.
Why 8?
So they threw out the last one.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought I was black. I was so dark in Vegas in the summer. So, so they threw out the.
So they put another one on you for a black guy that had
exactly
robbed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So sitting in the holding tank, looking at my charges, and you know, people, you know, you talk in there about your charges, and they're looking at it like, holy crap.
What are you here for?
Exactly.
Drunk and disorderly. What are you here for? I ran a stoplight. Or what are you here? A suspended license. What are you here for? 8 armed robberies. Oh shit.
Yeah, like I'm thinking like the Las Vegas jails are probably filled with tourists, drunk idiots.
Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah.
It's like remember Wade was sitting there and he's in the cells with all these guys. He's like, they're all there for like fucking drunks and fighting in a bar, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, domestic violence or just domestic, whatever. And then one guy sits next to him and he says, what are you here for? And he's like, murder. The guy goes and gets up and walks to the other side of the fucking cell and sits down on the other side of the cell. He's like,
yep. And it's funny because that's pretty much what happened. They put me in the low security because they realized I wasn't gang affiliated or anything like that. So they put me in the low security where all those drunken disorderly, suspended license. And I'm telling guys, you know, my charges, and they're like, man, you're not getting out of here.
Yeah.
Forget about bail. You're done. So I'm thinking I'm about to do 30, 40 years in prison. That's what I'm thinking in my mind.
Right.
Thank God nobody got injured. I didn't get injured, but still it was dangerous what happened. You know, I'm devastated at this point of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Couple interesting things happen in there. So after 12 hours of sitting in this holding tank, they take me to a pod, to a dorm, like a low security dorm. In the dorm, you have a window and you see the other pod who's in that window, and they're at rec time with the gym. And when it's our time, we would be there, and they would be in there.
Is this one of them where there's the main control center and there's multiple pods with windows?
So you had one pod.
Yeah.
Then a window.
Okay.
And in that window was the rec. And then their pod was next door. So they would see us in their window, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
but you're in 2 different pods.
Yeah, exactly. 2 different pods. We're here, he's on the next one, and you could see each other through the window when one's at rec.
Okay.
So I get in, I'm in the pod, I'm just hanging out over there, and I see him in the window.
You see who?
I see the blood gang member, that same blood gang member that I left in the street in the window.
Okay.
And I forgot about what happened. This is like 2 years ago.
So he's in the window, but he's not in the pod you're going
He's not in the pod that I'm going
He's just across the pod.
He's across the pod.
Right.
And I look at him and I went to go say what's up. And I realized I realized he's not saying what's up back to
Right.
me. And then my memory came back. I'm like, oh crap, this is the guy that I ripped. I guess
Right.
ripped
So
off.
he's still
He's still heated about that.
he's still holding resentment.
Exactly.
He needs to let that go.
Exactly.
He needs to let that go.
And so he calls some of his boys over to there's a door right there
Yeah.
where they can't physically be in contact, but he whispered to him something. I walk back to my bunk. 5 minutes later, I'm surrounded by 5 blood gang members. And they said to me, not the leader, there was a leader, but there was the younger guys who was like, you're gonna fight me, and then you're gonna fight him and him and him and him. Just like that. Like right then and there.
Yeah, that seems fair.
And I said, and I don't know how I talked myself out of this, but I said, whoa, like, and I spoke to the leader, and I told him how, your boy tried to rip me off first, and I didn't maybe I did the wrong thing too by ripping him off afterwards, but he ripped me off first. And the guy listened to me, and they left me alone. They were still like, I was in jail for 2.5 weeks after that until they let me out on bail. I could explain more about that.
Yeah.
But
they were still
they were
kind of.
I was like sleeping with one eye open.
Yeah.
If you sleep hot at night, you know how disruptive that can be. When you're not resting well, everything else feels harder. Your focus, your mood, even your recovery. GhostBed is here to help you fix that. They've spent decades perfecting how to build a bed that's comfortable, durable, and designed to actually help you rest. Every GhostBed mattress features premier materials, proven cooling technology, and their exclusive ProCore layer, a targeted support system that reinforces the center of the mattress, where the body is heaviest. It helps keep your spine aligned and your back supported, so you can wake up ready for anything 2026 throws at you. Each mattress comes with a 101 night sleep trial and a 20 to 25 year warranty, so you can try it risk-free, knowing it's built to last. Shipping is fast and free. Most orders arrive in 2 to 5 days. GhostBed has great prices to begin with, up to 50% off comparable brands. And Inside True Crime listeners can get an extra 10% off site-wide for a limited time. Just go to ghostbed.com/Cox and use promo code Cox at checkout. That's ghostbed.com/Cox, promo code Cox. Upgrade your sleep with GhostBed, the makers of the coolest bed in the world. Some exclusions apply. See site for details.
I saw they were all looking at me from wherever I was at, and I'm by myself. Even at the time, I didn't understand the whole politics about whites, blacks, and Mexicans. Some whites came up to me and were like, hey, we can have your back if you want. And I was like, no, I'm cool. I wasn't sure about anything, what's going on. Like, who's trying to have my back? So, but nothing happened to me while I was there. 2.5 weeks later, I had a bail hearing, right?
So if you're a Jewish guy, who are you aligning with?
With the whites.
Okay. Just
with the
making sure.
whites.
I was going to say, I would think it would be the white guy.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Then
you have to be with the whites.
And who are you hanging out with? And in general, who do you kind of hang out with in general in there? The white guys or?
No, nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Okay.
My whole time in prison, I was like a lone wolf. I hung out when I needed to hang out.
Yeah.
That was it. So 2.5 weeks later, I had my bail hearing. And like I said, it's 8 armed robberies, 8 burglaries. You're not getting out for bail. No freaking way.
Right.
It's interesting. Talk about spirituality. It's a big part of my story. Some guy randomly came up to me. He didn't know me. I didn't know him. Right before my bail hearing, he said, he didn't know about nothing about me. He said, I could tell you're going through a tough time right now. You're about to go home soon. Right. I was like, whatever. So the next day or whatever it was, I went to my bail hearing. The judge took a look at me and he's like, no freaking way this kid just did all these robberies. No way. And he said, we're accepting his bail, the terms of bail.
What was the term? What was it?
I would have to be on an ankle monitor and I would have to go to rehab for 30 days. In-house rehab inpatient rehab for 30 days and then 6 months outpatient. And from what I hear, and we're in the state at this time. This is a state case. And from what I hear, when you go to rehab while you're fighting a case, that's like good enough to get probation. right? That's what everybody was telling me.
Yeah. If
So-
you pass the rehab, then they
Exactly.
feel like, okay, this is an isolated event. He's never been in trouble before.
Exactly.
God knows what was going on, but
Exactly.
there's a way to divert this from becoming a full blown. It's a way they're trying to divert you from becoming a part of the system, which is very difficult to break out of that system once you're in it.
Exactly. And they saw that, they saw I was just like a trouble kid. So I got out, I had a really good attorney too. My grandmother put up like $100,000 for a lawyer. She put up her house for a surety. And they put up,
You're getting probably, my grandson, you're getting a public defender.
yeah, they loved that. They really, and she's not, my grandmother grew up in she was from Hungary and then New York. She came from the Holocaust. They're not thinking about, raising criminal grandkids or kids, anything like that. So it was against her nature, but I
was going to say, it's funny in the Jewish community, like it's such a horrific thing. Like in the Black community, right?
Yeah.
Like they've all got somebody like in pretty much any family out there right now. They're like, oh yeah, my cousin's in prison right now. My uncle's doing life.
Yeah.
I got to like, they'll name 5. They've all been to prison, like to visit people and stuff. They're like, exactly. My brother calls every Tuesday to talk to my mom. He's doing 10 years. And so, but it's like, if you're from a middle class, let's say white family, like they shun you.
Exactly.
Like they're like, oh, he's done. We're done with that guy. And I would think it would be the exact same thing with in the Jewish community. Be like, oh no, you're done.
Especially armed robbery.
Yeah,
it wasn't like a financial.
Not like it's fraud.
Crime.
It's like fraud. What even fraud? It's barely even a crime. Same thing with I feel like the same thing with kind of Spanish, right? Like I feel like those that they're not. It's not as ingrained in the culture as because you understand. Here's the interesting thing about the Blacks in general. If they go to prison, they'll support each other. It's like, are you serious?
Yep.
Like they'll call home and be like, somebody needs to put some money on my books. And they'll call somebody in the family will, if they don't have it, they'll make 5 phone calls and somebody will be like, fuck.
So
all right, I'll put $100 on his books. Like they'll find someone that like the baby mamas drag the kids to the prison to see their father, even if the father was horrible and never paid child support, didn't pay for his kids, nothing. They'll drag them there. Like it's just a part of supporting them. If you're white, like, and if I called up and said, hey, can you send me some money? They'd be like, you out of your fucking mind? Sending you any money? You're in prison. I used to ask my mom to mail me books. I'm asking her, can you send me, there's a John Grisham book that's out. It just became paperback because you couldn't get hard copies. Can you order it for me? My sister would then go and tell my mom, Mom, they've got a library. That book's in the library. You don't have to buy that book and send it to them. I'm like, what are you talking about?
They don't get it.
You don't know anything.
Yep.
Sorry.
So it is
going to be in the library when Mom sends it. Then I'll read it and I'll stick it in the library.
Yeah.
She thinks they're trying to rehabilitate you. You kill me. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So it was against everybody in my family's nature and understanding,
But your grandmother, she's a gangster, bro.
She's a straight gangster. I mean, she's got a whole story herself, coming from a tough upbringing with the Holocaust and everything like that. She understands struggle.
Right.
And she's also was a hypnotherapist. So she dealt with a lot of drug addicts and stuff like that in her life. So she kind of understood. She put up her house for a surety. And I think it was like a $20,000 bond, something like that. So I got out. I was on an ankle monitor. I went to rehab, state case, thinking all I got to do is pass this 30 days of rehab and I'm good. I'm not going to prison. No way.
Right.
After 30 days, I'm happy as hell. I passed, clean, sober. My mom picks me up. My mom's a very energetic woman. And this day she was like down, like something was off. And she said to me, Shawn, I asked her what was wrong. And she was like, Shawn, I just spoke with your new lawyers. Your case went federal. And that means that you're for sure going to be doing time in prison, at least 7 years, because of the 924C.
Yeah.
With the,
Using a
brandishing a weapon.
Yeah.
And it was a Hobbs Act. They had like a bunch of Hobbs Act they had against me. That's why I went federal.
Yeah.
So it was also the Hobbs Act what made it go federal, affecting interstate commerce. These gas stations or convenience stores were like federal or something like that.
Yeah. Well, if it's a 7-Eleven, they've got 7-Elevens in 14 other states.
Exactly.
It's a racetrack. Well, racetrack's a national chain. So you're affecting all of them. That $100 may have thrown all of them into bankruptcy.
Exactly.
So yeah,
that's literally how that's the connection. Is like you're hitting a national company.
Yeah.
Even though you're like, no, I robbed one store.
Exactly.
No, but it affected all of the stores, and it also, because they're in multiple states. Even though it didn't affect anything, but that's what they say. It affected all of them. As a result of that, it makes it federal.
Exactly.
And they don't have to. It doesn't have to, but they can choose.
If it was just mom and pops, you would have probably done 30-day
You'd probably have 5 years
had
paper.
probation and done.
For sure.
And like, what
Yeah.
do you know why they would pick this case specifically? Oh, let's make this federal. Like, how does that happen?
From what I heard, you always hear stuff.
Yeah.
Right? What I heard is that at the time, the state in Las Vegas was giving all gun charges to the feds.
Oh, okay.
So this is a question that people were always, throughout the whole time I was in prison, people are always asking, why is this federal?
Yeah.
They didn't understand the federal. There was a lot of gun charges too. Young kids, like 19, 20 years old, when I was sitting in when I eventually went to the federal jail, you see these like young kids with just regular gun charges sitting in the feds.
All right.
And it was confusing to everybody, but this is what the thing was, what we heard. So I completed the rehab, and I'm told you're gonna do somewhere between now 7 and 13 years in prison. And I was just like, I was on a high from completing the rehab, thinking I'm good to go. I'm just gonna be on probation, to I gotta get ready to spend the next 7 whatever years in prison. I was broken. It's completely broken. But I didn't give up. Actually, from the days of football and having like a chip on my shoulder, I took like strength from in that moment, even though I was weak, but I had a lot of strength to where I prepared myself for prison. I started boxing every single day because I'm thinking I'm going to be fighting for my life while I was in prison. And
I know exactly what he's thinking.
I just got prepared.
I felt the same way, like, bro.
Yeah. And people are telling you, it's fun. This is the funny thing too. People tell you, watch the prison shows, right? It's gonna give you the exact, idea. I watched Oz.
Oh, that's the
Oz?
worst. What are you doing?
The first episode, the guy happens over there.
He gets assaulted. Let's say.
Yeah.
Essayed.
And that's when I started boxing after that. And I'm like
going down with a
and
fight.
Everybody's telling me, and people who never even been to prison, but you take everything in, you're absorbing. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna get assaulted, you're gonna get this, you're gonna be fighting.
My uncle went to prison. I know everything.
Yeah, exactly. I remember I got you have to get like booked. So once it became a federal case, I had to get booked just quickly in the feds.
Yeah.
And then they send you back home to be on house arrest. And I think I even asked the officer there, does SA happen in prison? He's like, oh, all the time.
And I'm fucking jerk off.
I'm like,
that's fucking. He must have bet you walked out.
Yeah.
And listen to this.
Yeah. And I'm like, I go back. I'm like, oh no. But I was boxing every single day. I was doing whatever I could. Eventually, my mom, she said to me, Shawn, you're going to prison for sure.
Enough with that. Like, did she have to keep rubbing it in your face? Like, all right, I understand.
Because I kept prolonging it.
Right.
It was 9 months. I'm already on house arrest. I could be doing my time, even though,
that's what she's saying.
I wasn't sentenced. So
she's saying, get it over.
Yeah. So go in, start the time, even though you're not sentenced yet. So I listened to her. She told me this on like a Thursday. I turned myself in on Tuesday. I was not ready at all. I went to Pahrump in Nevada. It's like an hour outside of Las Vegas to the jail. They bring you on a van, put you in a van with like a few other guys who are cuffed and shackled. I don't know who the heck these guys are. I go to the jail in Pahrump. They book you, they fingerprint you, talk to a psychologist, whatever, blah blah blah. I finally go to my pod. It's a dorm because it's an armed robbery. And I'm 21 years old. I'm either going to the pen, to the U.S. penitentiary, or to a medium. But I was in a medium to high. So the not dorms, it's the cells.
Yeah.
So they sent me to the cells. I go into there the first time to the cells. Everybody's locked in at the time. You walk in there, and you know how it is. They see the new guys, the new people come in. They're banging on the door. And I'm like,
put them in here. Yeah, fresh meat. Yeah. Fresh meat.
And I'm like,
once you've been there for a few years,
yeah,
you're like, stop it, bro. I've been locked up before. Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, what's going on?
Yeah,
Where you from?
Exactly. I'm like, what the heck is going on? All you hear is banging. You don't see faces just banging on every single. They put me in a cell by myself. That was like a godsend, right? Put me in a cell by myself. When I got out after they counted, somebody came up to me, and I don't care what anybody says. I was nervous as hell, right? They asked me, a white guy comes up to me and he says, "Are you with the whites?" And I was already kind of trained before going into jail by some people that you got to be with somebody. So I'm like, I guess so, right? And he's like, all right, so I'm going to show you where we sit and everything like that. And they take me to the table. I'm sitting with some white Russian guy over there. Everybody looks scary at first, and then eventually it's like you realize it's just like a bunch of guys.
The nicest guy,
exactly. And so there was like 10 to 15 white guys there at the time, and after a few days, I start to realize, like you said, it's just regular guys,
right?
Whatever happened in their life, they're there. Obviously they're dangerous. You got to be serious. It's prison. There's rules. There's politics. You have to be serious. But they took a liking to me, and they thought it was funny that I was Jewish.
I was going to say, what you're thinking about. You know how many times
I'm with all these Aryan white supremacists, and here's a Jewish kid over here. It was funny.
There were so many times I'd be sitting there talking to some guy, and I'm thinking, this guy's got SS's on his, he's got like multiple SS. He's got a swastika.
Yeah.
He's got, and I'm like, this is insane. Like, how's this guy going to get a job?
I wish you could see that picture.
What are you doing?
I wish you could see the picture. I'm sitting and doing burpees with a guy who has like swastikas tattooed on him. His name's Demon. I'm doing burpees with Demon at 2:00 or whatever. And it's people get a kick out of that today when I tell them. But they respected what I was, and they respected that I wasn't trying to hide.
Right.
And they respected, that I'm not I didn't cooperate, and I'm not a SA. So you're a good guy.
You're not cooperating. There's nobody to cooperate against.
Yeah.
But
so I'm in the jail. I get used to it. I get a routine. Start working out like crazy from my football days. I wanted to start bringing that back and working out, doing burpees, getting into the prison routine. Guys are telling me how you're going to have to start moving. And I'm thinking the whole time that I'm going to go to the USP.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it's going to be violent when I get over there.
But you don't have a criminal history.
I didn't have a criminal history.
There's 50-50 chance you end up in a medium.
Exactly. So, but a lot of guys there are like to dramatize things.
Yeah.
And some of the guys that I was talking to, they're like, yeah, you're going to the USP with that. And I'm like, I don't know.
Well, there's a chance.
There's a chance. It was never going to be. It was never going to be. I would definitely go to a medium, like you said, with the criminal history and everything.
Yeah. But also, it's probably better for you to be concerned about it and know that it's a possibility than be 100%, I'm going. And then suddenly you go to a USB. Oh, no, you're going to have to do 2 years here first. And then you'd be like, and it could shift. You don't know what could happen. Like,
Totally.
It's like when they close, they start, because supposedly Trump wants to close like all the camps.
Mm-hmm. That's what I heard too. Yeah.
So if they close all the camps, the BOP is going to rescore people, and it's going to shift more people into USPs upwards. Yeah. But still, so at least, because you just don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
You don't know. And it could be something like you don't even see it. Like there could be a detainer from your state charges that you're like, okay, my state charges were dropped. They're like, yeah, for some reason there's still a detainer, so your score's a little higher.
Yep.
And you're like, yeah, but that was dropped. They're like, yeah, but it's still on the record.
There, yeah.
And you don't know. You're like, what the fuck? You know, now suddenly instead of being scored at, you know, whatever, 12, you're at 22 or something. And guess what? Yeah, about a year you'll leave. And like, I want to do a year in the fucking pen.
Yep. Speaking of the detainer too, I know guys who are still spending way more years in prison because the state case wasn't dropped or something like that.
Yeah, you have
the
to
points
do
go up or something.
Interstate. There's some kind of thing that you have to file. I filed one. I had a state detainer on me, and it was a 2-page motion, and I wrote it. And all it was saying was like, "Hey, come get me. Come get me. I want to fight this." And then they appointed me a lawyer. Lawyer went in front of the judge and said, "This guy's doing, you know, fucking 26 years, probably. Judge, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like what? We're going to bring him back for a probation violation, you know?" And he was like, so the judge goes, "Okay, well, let's quash it." And they quashed it. And literally all that happened. Like I mailed it on like a Monday, and like 10 days later, I get, but this is what just happened. Bam, 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 bam. They drop the whole thing, and the detainer's gone.
Sheesh.
But most people don't do it. A lot of people don't do it. And then they don't do it until they find out.
They don't even know.
They don't do it until they find out it's there, and they can't go to halfway house. And they're like, "What do you mean I can't go to halfway house? Well, you have a detainer." What?
Yep.
So anyway, sorry, go ahead. So you're there. You're hanging out with the Aryans.
Hanging out with the Aryans. And they got a kick out of it that I was Jewish. But like I said, it was never an issue because I was being myself, and they respected that. I spent 5 months at this jail in Pahrump until I was sentenced. I was sentenced like 4 months into that. And then you wait there for like a few weeks till you get shipped out. So when I finally got sentenced, I went in front of the judge. He gave me 8 years and a day. I was happy with that. Okay. Obviously, I wished it was 7. He could have picked between 7 and 13. He picked 8. He said because the whole our whole case was, it was just a kid. He made a mistake.
Yeah.
The judge looked at me as like, nobody just stumbles and starts armed robbery.
Yeah, nobody makes a mistake 7 times.
Exactly. So he gave me 8 years and a day, and the day helped me to get more halfway house or something like that. So
well, it gives you the ability to give you good time for that last year.
Exactly. And so I went back to my cell after that, and I prepared for prison. You know, I that was one of the toughest days of my life. I don't know how anybody else feels after being sentenced. That was hard. That was draining.
It's a bad day.
It was a bad day. I hugged that was the last day I hugged my grandmother. The marshals let me hug my grandmother in court. And you know, she was like 85 or something. Who knows if she's gonna be alive still.
Yeah.
It's a thing that all inmates never know about. You know, your family might pass while they're in.
Yeah.
Sad. So I went back, I got ready, and this is when also at this time I decided like I don't want to be a criminal anymore, and I don't want to be a drug addict when I get out.
Right.
But how am I going to change? I'm surrounded by nothing but inmates and criminals. And as you know too, 90% of the time these guys don't want to change either.
They're planning their next.
They're planning their next thing. They're planning in there, out there. It's crime everywhere you look. And I said to myself, I don't want to go down this road. I don't want to be this type of person. So what is that going to be for me? What am I going to have to do to change? And for me, that was to find God, spirituality, get closer to my roots, Judaism, whatever it was. For me, it was getting close to God. And you know, a couple funny things that happened over there, like with the Aryan Brotherhood guys or the neo-Nazi, whatever it was. They all have swastikas tattooed here, there, all over the place. I don't know if you know anything about like kosher and Judaism and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So after Yom Kippur, the holiday we have Yom Kippur,
right?
I fasted 25 hours, and after the fast, I broke the fast with like a pork and cheese sandwich, something like that. And I didn't even know what I was doing. But everybody knows your business over there. Yeah. They know you're Jewish, and they know you just fasted. Now you're eating pork and cheese.
Yeah.
So this guy with the swastika comes up to me, and like in a joking way, but it struck me.
Yeah.
He looked me dead in my eyes, and he's like, "I don't understand you Jews. You just fasted and you prayed for 25 hours. Now you're eating pork and cheese.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a hypocrite."
Right.
And when he said that to me, it struck me, and I was like, whoa, like I need to be who I meant to be. And for me, that was to become more in tune with my Judaism and spirituality. So I just hit the ground running after that. A couple weeks later, they sent me from that prompt jail to Victorville, the medium in
Okay.
Victorville, one of the most dangerous
Yeah.
mediums in the country. When I got there, like a week before that, the warden just got stabbed or something like that. I'm hearing about this. They had to shut off half the
I
yard.
shouldn't laugh.
Yeah, they had to shut off half the yard because somebody got killed or something. I'm like, and I'm just walking into this place, right? And again, I had to, when I got there, the guys really couldn't tell what I was, Mexican, what I was. So when I got there, some guys asked me, "Are you Paisa?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not Paisa." And so I went to the white guys, and I let them know that I'm with the whites because you have to, and you have 30 days to show your paperwork.
Right.
Over
You don't
there.
have to. You could get stabbed.
You get stabbed.
Yeah.
So I already, I was code every along the way. I wanted to make sure I do everything properly. So
Right.
the white guys at the jail told me, get your lawyer to make sure they send out your paperwork. So when I got to the prison in Victorville, I called my mom. I was like, "Mom, don't ask questions. Just please have the lawyer send my paperwork," just like that. And even SIS tells you, like, when you get there, like,
Don't have us sent in. You're not going to be able to get it. You're not going to. We go through your stuff. You're not going to get your paper. You're not going to get your PSR.
Exactly.
But you can.
Exactly.
I've had it sent in twice. The guys would show up, be like, "Yeah, man, I've been trying." I'm thinking, stop it, bro.
Yeah.
Like my shit sent in twice.
Yeah. Yep. And so they sent it in. I showed it, and I was good after that, right? For the next 10 months, I was in Victorville.
Right.
And it was easy, very easy time for me. I stuck to myself. I didn't have any drama or anything like that. And I was learning a lot about Judaism, but I got beat up in the medium.
Really?
I got beat up. I got a discipline.
For what?
So I was part of this program called the Brave program. It's still a program that they have today.
Okay.
From Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 10:30 every single day. We go and somebody comes in from the outside, some lady, to teach us about changing your attitude and your thoughts. So when you get out, your actions change, right? Yeah. Or actually, it was for prison because they realized this Brave program was 35 and under. They realized that in prison, all the young kids were the ones who were committing the prison crimes, like stabbings and stuff in prison. So they got they would have these programs. There's like a couple in the country to like try to get these kids, and they bring them from all over, Texas, New York, everywhere, to try to get us like our thoughts to change. It's like the RDAP kind of.
Yeah.
So I was part of this program, and everything was going well. I had a smooth time. I was practicing my Judaism, working out. Nobody bothered me, anything like that. I didn't bother anybody. And one day, the lady, we were told during programming hours, don't play cards, right? Guys don't listen. They play cards. She turned off all the TVs in the unit. You already know, don't touch the TVs. It's where like life or death over there, right?
Yeah, that's what causes most of the fights.
Most fights. And that's why I barely watch TV in prison for that reason. So she turned off all the TVs. So all the guys got together and they said the following morning, we're walking out of the program. We're boycotting this program. So the next day, I'm 21 years old. I don't know anything about prison, this, politics, that. Everybody walks out. Me and my cellmate were the only ones to stay inside.
Okay.
And they locked down the whole unit. They brought everybody back. They locked us down for like a week. Everybody got written up except for me and my cellmate.
Right.
I'm thinking, okay, I'm good. Like I dodged some trouble or whatever.
Right.
They opened the doors. They wanted to beat us up, me and my cellmate, right? And I had to go in front. I talked to the white guys, to the shot caller.
Right.
And, I got lucky. I got really lucky. They said to me, we wanted to stomp you off the yard. When they stomp you off the yard, there's two guys come at you with boots and they, they get you out of there. They can send you to the hospital half dead. And they said to me, you're a prison rookie. We're going to give you a discipline. So I had to one day go into a cell in another unit. I had to hold my hands up for 23 seconds because 23 representing W, white. That's their disciplines. That's
How does 23 represent WY?
23rd
23rd letter in the alphabet.
Oh, okay.
W.
Okay, now it makes sense.
Colby.
Yeah, now it makes sense.
People always joke with me. I should have been with the blacks. It would have been 2 seconds for B. So
I got hit twice.
23 seconds. Hold my hands up like this. 2 guys put gloves on. They tell you right before, and these are your buddies. Like I'm cool with everybody. They're like, listen, just take it. If you try to fight back, we're gonna beat the hell out of you. Just take it. It's gonna be over. They put gloves on. 2 guys. Boom. 23 seconds. Hit me in the stomach as hard as they can. After that, you know, you got respect. Whatever. Everything's good. And I'm like, yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
I'm not good.
Yeah.
After that, and I pretended like everything was okay. Because everything was good up until that point. I was almost like not spoiled in prison, but when you don't see any action coming at you because you're told when you get to prison, don't gamble, don't do drugs, don't do anything stupid that's going to cause attention. So I'm thinking I'm smooth sailing my whole time.
Right.
Until that incident. And I'm like, whoa, like this is a dangerous place. And the tension got loud. You know, it changed the whole vibe. So at that time, I was also this was also when I wanted to change my life, become more Jewish, become more religious, become better. And I felt like I was being pulled down into that world, right? Because, you know, you get put in line up next you got to put in work up next. So I was up next to put in work. So the next person So the next person who if a chomo comes to the yard, if whatever, and I don't want to do this. I'm not that type of person. I'm trying to do my time and get out, but I know I have to if it would come to that. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm an overthinker. I'm thinking, what if me and the other guy, we go do that and the other guy kills him. And now I'm in this mess too. I'm like, man, I got to get out of here, but I'm not going to go out in a bad way, you know, like I'm not gonna.
How long have you been locked up?
I was only locked up for
at this point
14 months. At that time,
I was gonna say, like, can't you go to your fucking counselor and be like, listen, you got to move me to a low.
Yeah, so I didn't. So here's what happened.
These guys, when I'm talking about me beating somebody up,
yeah,
I don't want to beat anybody up.
So I didn't want to be that guy to say anything to the cops or anything, and because I knew I would, like you said, I had all this time left, you know. But something interesting happened at this time. A couple things. The guy who called the hit on me for the DP, he got caught extorting another white guy. He got smashed off the yard. Oh, okay. So that took a lot of heat off of me. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Because he was the one pushing for you to be next.
Exactly. He was from Vegas. I was with the Vegas. I don't like to say with. I just had to be, you know, like I was in the Vegas group.
Yeah.
And the Vegas car.
Yeah. We know about cars. Colby knows about cars.
Yeah. And I wanted to be out of the car. Right. But he messed up and he got smashed off the yard. It took off a lot of pressure off of me. Another thing that happened was we were talking about how like the Jewish community is like not so involved in the prison world. They actually are.
Yeah.
Kind of the Aleph Institute.
Yeah. No, that's it. We've talked about them before. Yeah. It's funny. They're actually pushing for just a regular white guy to get a pardon.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, I have no idea why. He's like, I'm not Jewish. They just I know somebody that knows somebody, and they just decided, this isn't right. We're going to represent you.
Exactly.
But no, they're good. I'm talking about typically like the families.
Oh yeah, the families doesn't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah, they're embarrassed. They don't really know anybody. This isn't a thing.
Yeah. So there's this. I don't know if you heard of them, the Aleph Institute.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know. Yeah. Listen, they would do they send in the rabbi. They get you moved. Yeah. To certain places, they call your senator. They make sure he's not getting proper medical. And they have like real influence.
Exactly.
I don't know why. Like I don't know.
I can never figure it out either.
But when they get a phone call from them, you'll get called into the fucking wards. Hey, listen, we just got a phone call from Rabbi so-and-so. So we're going to move you, they don't, I'm like, well, what's the difference between Rabbi so-and-so and my mother calling?
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't, they listen to him.
Yeah. They have some type of juice. I don't know what it is, but I can't figure it out. So at that time, when I wanted to, so I was told by the Aleph Institute, there's this Jewish prison called Otisville in New York. You ever heard of this?
Yeah, I heard of Otisville.
And I didn't want to go because there was a lot of chomos over there, and it was like a dropout yard.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be around all of that stuff. But when I realized,
don't go to prison.
Exactly.
You don't get to choose. You're really in a better spot.
Exactly.
I'd rather the whole prison be fucking Chos because I'm a gangster among Chos.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You have 500 Chos and a couple hundred white guys or a couple other just regular other inmates.
Yeah.
You're fucking walking around. You walk straight to the front of the line. Back. They're not going to say anything.
Yeah.
It's because they're docile.
The most respectful.
Right. They're terrified.
Yeah. So I heard about this prison before I got that discipline.
Right.
After the discipline, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should try to move over there now.
Yeah.
So they made the calls or whatever. When I told the other guys, my buddies over there, that I'm going to New York, they transferred me. They were like we never heard somebody moving this quickly because they didn't understand the power of the Aleph Institute.
Right.
So I waited a few weeks to put my transfer in. And I was happy because I knew where I was going. Like I hit a cloud pretty much.
Did you tell them you were disappointed that you couldn't put in work, that you were really looking forward to it? Nobody's more disappointed about this than me.
Exactly, on the way out. But it's so they sent me on 2 planes on Con Air, 150 inmates each plane. You're shackled, handcuffed.
It's the best.
The best. I went to Oklahoma City first. Spent 2 weeks over there. And then I went to Brooklyn, MDC. Spent 2 weeks over there. Then I finally went to Otisville. And I really hit a cloud. You see like in Otisville too, like there's like flowers and grass and stuff like that. And Victorville was all like dirt and like you felt the depression. When I got to Otisville, I go in there and it shocked me over there. I start walking around. I start seeing religious Jews everywhere with their kippah, it's called, and with the tzitzit, the strings that hang out everywhere you go. I'm like, what the heck? It looks like a temple, like a synagogue over here. But it's a prison. And the story is kind of like boring after that because the next 5 years of my life, I didn't have to deal with politics.
Right.
I could stay on my own. I stopped listening to music. I stopped watching TV. Started working out every single day. I became religious. I became spiritual. I became like the model, not inmate, but I changed my life.
Yeah.
And wrote a book while I was over there called Conviction when I was 25, like a few years before I got out.
This book?
This book right here. And
What's this thing? What's this going on?
This is it's called Conviction. I wrote this when I was 25. Journey from Prison to Torah.
What's the rap? What's the
So
thing?
this is called To Fill In right here.
The what?
To fill in. To fill in.
Why is it see-through?
Oh, so that's the way that they did it. You see, like they have like a guy like in pain over there,
Okay.
and with the bars and everything like
Right.
that. The publisher did a whole thing over there, and it's like a religious thing that we wear. Basically, they're like in the morning you connect yourself, you bind yourself to God, and it's just a way to connect to God in the morning.
Okay.
And so this is what I did over there the last 5 years. It was like almost like a school for me. I took some college courses, stayed out of trouble. Then I went home in February 2022, and I spent a year in the halfway house.
What was your game plan for getting out?
So my
I mean, you don't have a great charge, bro. No
Yeah.
offense. You know what I'm saying? Like people see I'm not sure that there's a good charge.
Yeah.
But it's not like if it was like one count of like wire fraud. Then you can kind of almost lie or alter in some way why you got wire fraud. Oh, I whatever. You come up with some kind of benign thing, but like
Yeah.
an armed robbery.
So
like,
it's
that's
interesting.
rough.
I had to tell my story because if I tell my story and if I'm open about it, it's almost like a comedian who makes jokes about his life.
Yeah.
You release it. And then it's like, it's not that serious when it's out there already.
Right.
Like when I met somebody, I have a girlfriend. She knew from the first day.
This one? Or is it's another one?
No, sure.
This is a new one? Is this the same one? Okay.
Gonna get me in trouble.
That's a conversation on the way. What did he mean by that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
And she knew from the get-go.
Right.
It's all over my Instagram too. Like I put my story out there because I feel like it would have been weirder if I'm 6 months down the road, oh, by the way, I'm an ex-armed robber.
Yeah.
So if it's already out there and they tell I'm normal, this, that, it's cool. So that was my thing. And the other thing, while I was in prison, I had dreams now, like my football career was over. My dreams now were to go back to schools and to speak to high schoolers or anybody who's struggling about, to show them through my story and to connect through my story that doesn't matter where you came from, the ghetto or from the suburbs, here, there, you could always end up screwing up. You never know where your life is going to take you. So I had dreams of getting out, becoming an author, a speaker. And that's pretty much what I've been doing since I got out.
And so that was the game plan.
That was the game plan, yeah. I didn't know what it looked like exactly because it's hard to see, the future when you're stuck over there for so long. But to get married, to have kids, and just to be normal, live normal, drug-free life.
Listen, I don't know what's going to happen.
Dreams and stuff from prison or like thoughts and stuff like that?
No, I think after about a year and a half, that went away.
Especially after probation, probably.
How long were you in?
6 years.
Okay. So I think they said
after 5 years it's detrimental or something like that.
Right. Well, I think it's if you've done more than I want to say it's 5 or 10 years, they say you basically it's almost like it's like you have permanent PTSD or something.
Yeah.
But as far as dreaming, this is weird. Have you ever heard me say this?
I think you're going to say something about being on the inside, dreaming of the outside or something like that.
So what happened, and this is when I went to the medium, I had, I call him my cousin, right? Reese. But really it's my brother-in-law, the guy that's married to my sister, my brother-in-law, he has a cousin. So when I get there and I call my mom, like when I first got there, like I didn't call to my mom in like 2 weeks. Because you're in. I was locked down. You were locked down for everything. I was in a transfer center.
Where were you at?
Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
So
they always keep you locked down.
Yeah, I was there for 2 weeks. So when they let you out once every other day, you've got two choices. You can take a shower or you can go use the phone because there's a line for both. So I would just take a shower. I hadn't showered in days. So by the time I got to Coleman, I said, hey, listen to the counselor when you go through, you meet with medical, you meet with SIS, you meet with counselors. So I said, look, can I call my mom? She hadn't heard from me in 2 weeks. And yeah. So I call her, I said, hey, mom, I want to let you know I'm at Coleman. She goes, okay, are you at the pen, the medium, or the low? I'm like, fucking mom. And I'm like, fuck, like I have no idea. I didn't even know they had a fucking pen. Like I thought I'm at a medium. What do you? And she's like, yeah, Coleman has 2 pens, a medium and a low and a camp.
She did all the research.
She said, where are you? And I said, I'm at the medium. She goes, okay.
My mom sounds like
yeah. She goes, okay. She said, you need to find your cousin Reese. And I went, my cousin Reese? And she goes, yeah. She said, he works on the compound. He's the head orderly on the compound. And I went,
she know everything.
Okay. I think she must have had it written down. My mom was pretty sharp though.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And she said, and I said, I have a cousin? And she goes, well, it's Jack's cousin. She said, but in this particular situation, she said, he's your family.
He's going to look out for you.
Right. And so I was like, okay, hang up the phone. Took me 4 or 5 days to find him. I think he kind of found me.
Yeah.
And so I he was there for like 3 or 4 years. Well, I'm sorry, he had been there for 3 or 4 years and he was there for another 2 years or so. So after I was just towards the end, after I'd been there about 2 years, now I've been locked up 3 years.
Yeah.
I remember I came to him, I said, bro, I have the weirdest fucking things happening.
And over there.
yeah, he said, "What?" He said, "What's that?" I said, "I'm having dreams where I'm outside."
Mm.
I said, "But I'll be walking through the mall, and because when I went in, malls were still a thing, and I was like, I'm walking through the mall, and I look up, and like there's guys from in here in the dream, and I'm thinking, holy shit, like what's Jimmy doing out of fucking prison?" I said, and then there'll be somebody else will walk by, and I'll be like, oh my god, that's Pookie or whoever, that's we had a guy in Coleman named Doodoo and a guy named Wee Wee. And they used to say that Doodoo was the shit. So and I'd be like, oh my God, that's Doodoo. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I was telling him, like, bro, it's so weird. And I remember he looked at me and he goes, you still dream about the outside? And I was like, yeah. He said, he goes, yeah, I guess it's been about 2-3 years, right? And I went, yeah. He said, that's a long time to be thinking about. He goes, you must think about the outside a lot. I go, I do.
Yeah.
He said, you're still making phone calls to people outside. He said, he said, in another,
for you out there.
right.
Yeah.
He said, in another year or so, he said, you'll start dreaming about being in here and people from the outside will be in here. He said, and then probably around 5 years, he said, you won't have any dreams about the outside or people on the outside. He said, this will become your entire world. So depressing.
Yeah.
That was like, soul crushing. Like, don't tell me that. But he was absolutely right. I had total dreams about just being inside.
Yep.
Whereas nobody else was in the dream. And if I was thinking about someone else or talking to someone else, it was always on the phone or in visitation, exactly where it would be. That's fucking nuts, right?
Yeah. I have dreams about going back all the time.
And, no, listen, when I do too. Like for the first year, every time I'm gonna knock. Every time I think they're here.
Yeah.
Just for a split second, I think the marshals are here. Because the U.S. Marshals pick you up. So, and I would think they realized that they shouldn't have let me go. There was a mistake.
Yeah.
They're coming to get me. Something happened. They're picking me up. And it just was natural. And if I'd gone and opened the door and there were two guys there and they said, cuff up, I'd turn around. I would have immediately turned around. I wouldn't have even asked.
Yep.
Because let's face it, they're marshals. They don't know anything. They're like, I was told to pick you up. Like, I don't fucking know your case.
Right.
I would have done it without hesitation. And then the other thing was, I'd say it was 6 months. You were in the state.
Feds.
Oh, you were in the feds? Okay,
Feds, yep.
Great. So it might be the same in the state too. But around, I check my 3:30, 3:45, I start feeling sick in my stomach because I knew I had to be in my cell at 4. So, and that's just was naturally, I'd be in the unit and I'd keep you by that last 30 minutes. You start checking because I know they're going to call any minute. You're going to have to go to your cell. Everybody knows to be in their cell, but they're going to call it. And so you're constantly checking, like, when do I have time to go get coffee? Do I have time to heat up a soup? Do I have time to, everything's packed up? Have I talked to so-and-so? Can I use the email system real quick? Core links, can I shoot somebody, so you're constantly that last 15 minutes, it's like you just walk in, you stand in your cell and you're standing there and you're quiet. And then a few minutes later, they come in, they count you and they walk through and you have to be super quiet. And so, this was for like 6 months. And 6 months after that halfway house, because in the halfway house, they count you. So it wasn't any difference other than the halfway house was much worse than prison. Because you know that. Did you do any halfway house?
I did a year.
Sucks.
Full year.
Horrible. You would rather stay in prison.
Honestly,
I would have.
Yeah. Honestly, it did. It really sucked. And house arrest. I was on house arrest too. That sucked too.
Yeah. Well, that's got to be my understanding is just the horror stories that I'd heard.
Yeah. In the halfway house?
I was thinking more house arrest, just the anxiety because I've heard so many people, they get a phone call and they're, where are you? And you're like, what do you mean? I'm in my house.
I was taking a shower and I scrubbed it too hard.
Right.
And they called me and they're like, what are you doing? You're trying to take it off? Or
yeah.
Something? Yeah.
Oh yeah. And it's never like, hey, by the way, we got it. It's always like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Exactly.
Oh, I'm coming to pick you up.
Exactly,
Listen, I'm going to talk to so-and-so. You're getting violated. And it's like, you guys enjoy, like, you understand that if you're not working, other than being this guard in the halfway house, you worked at a Wawa, bro. Like, this is the first time you've ever been in a position where someone was concerned about you. if you lose this job right now, you are qualified to work at racetrack. Maybe a cashier at Walmart. Maybe, it's my understanding there's a lot of math involved. So I don't know that you make that. So I mean, but they talk to you like you're a dog, and it's like, and they love it. You get these people. It's like you know, they always say like, oh, they don't make a lot of money. I know they get something better than that.
Yeah.
They get that little
That
feeling
power.
of power.
Yeah.
And instead of being a nice person, they're really assholes. And it's like you're not even as qualified as a CO.
Yep.
Like
I was going to say the same thing about the COs, and then those become the wardens, lieutenants.
Right.
It's crazy to think about.
What's really funny is because of course I did 13 years, so I could watch this happen. And you talk to the COs, right? You get to know them, and and what you find out happens is once they become part of the union, they can't fire them. Right? It's almost impossible to fire them. They have to be
unless they do like
unless they commit a crime or they and a crime meaning like they're bringing in phones or drugs up.
Yeah.
So they get they can get on drugs. They'll send them to rehab, let them back on the combat. Like they no matter what, they just will not fire them. So what happens is when they have a guard that's such a fucking problem for them, they have a CO that they're just like, this guy's a nightmare. He's causing us nothing but problems.
Yeah.
Here's how they get rid of them. They give them a new position, and they don't give them another guard position. They have to make them. We're going to make you a counselor. But we don't have a counselor position here. You're going to have to move to Pensacola, and they'll pay them to move. They give them a movement, like they'll pay them $8,000 or $10,000 to move. But here's the guys
so
there.
They don't get to choose where they're going.
No, this is where you're going.
Position they're
right.
Oh,
so they're like, it's a raise. It's a much easier position.
Yeah.
You work 9 to 5. You have to work late at night and overshift nothing because you're a counselor now.
Yeah. That's why they're all pissed off all the time.
Right. Well, they're not prepared to be counselors. There's no training. So they just they sit with the counselor for 2 weeks to figure out the job. And then but here's the thing. That's how they get rid of them. So if this guy's a problem here, first they move him from the low to the medium, then to the pin, and then this pin, and then they try and make them miserable enough to get rid of them. They won't leave. Then they finally go, okay, this guy's not leaving. We can't seem to convince him to quit. He's not getting better as many times as we've talked to him. Okay, we're going to make him a counselor here. Or maybe try and put him in a position where he can't cause any problems. Maybe as counselor, maybe he has very little interaction with the inmates or something. So after years of being a problem, they will give him, and by the way, you can't turn it down. So you have to be a counselor here. So we're getting rid of you. And so they'll just move them. So here's what happens. The more of a pain in the ass, the more incompetent you are at your job, the quicker you raise through the ranks. So you were a shitty guard.
Yeah.
Now you're a counselor. He's a shitty counselor. Make him a unit manager.
The only job in the world that would be the worse you are, the more you go up.
Yeah, do this. Make them here. Send them here.
And that's why they're so bad.
So if you become like not necessarily the guy running the place.
Yeah.
But if you get way up there, you're a fucking you're a menace. You're a menace. That's why everybody's like, why is this so fucking corrupt and so fucked up and the system's so bad? Because the shit rises to the top of the pile.
Crazy.
So they're not capable of correcting anything. These guys aren't smart enough. These are not sharp people.
Yeah.
So when you said publisher, did you get it traditionally published or did you just go straight to Amazon? Did you
so it's interesting. When I was in prison,
all right,
I sent it. I had my mom. I wrote everything down and then emailed the whole thing to my mom. It took me days to send it out to her.
Yeah, I wrote like 6 books in prison.
While you were there. So you did the same thing?
Through core links.
Yeah, through core links.
Yeah.
And my mom almost lost everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, when she was saving it. But thank God she didn't. She sent it to like 20 Jewish publishers. And they all said, this is like, we can't put this in the Jewish community. It's too much. When I got out, I sent it to the same 20 publishers.
Yeah.
One of them were like, okay, they picked it up. And then it's interesting. It went out into a bunch of Jewish stores after it got published and printed. Yep.
Is this supposed to be, this isn't you.
That's me.
Is it?
Yeah. I just look different with the tefillin it's called and with my kippah. And this is a talit. That's me. That's like 3 years ago, this picture. Yeah.
Yeah, on the core links, I wrote. So I would do like, so like every like 30 days, it purges.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
When I first started, it didn't. It did it every 90 days, and then one day, somebody came. Just one guy who knew it. Some guy came up to me and said, "Hey man, did you see that thing on whatever the posts that they post? The staff can post. Did you see that thing on the post?" He said, "That's going to fuck you up." And I went, "What is it?" And he said, "Yeah, that now they're purging everything in 30 days." And I went, "From what?" He said, "From the draft on core links." And I went, "The fuck out of here! Like, why would you?" And he goes, "I don't know." He said, "I'm just." And I go, "Are you fucking with me?" He's like, "Bro, go check." So I checked. I was like, "Holy shit!" And I mean, I'm at like I'm at like 26 days, 27. I'm like, oh shit! So I had to go save everything.
Yeah.
So now I'm saving every 2 weeks. It took me. I had at one point by the end of the books. So I'd save it like chapter 1. Now keep in mind, my chapters are not, because you can only put in, I think it's like 1,400 characters or 2,800, so whatever the characters are. So in one draft, you couldn't have a whole chapter. It would be like chapter A or chapter 1A, chapter 1B, chapter 1C, because I could only type so much.
Yeah.
And I did it like that so that I could print them out. And then I could hand them to people to read so they could edit it for me.
I had someone edit it too in prison for me.
Yeah, which is perfect. And then I'd go and I'd make the changes before I sent it to somebody on the street who would then copy and paste them and put them into a Word document. And then they print it out, send it back to me, and I could do it again. What so, the anxiety of that book, the longer it got.
Yeah.
And then keep in mind too, it took me, because I don't know how it is now, but you could only go on the computer like 30 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
And so you paid whatever it was, like $1.50 or $2 for in core links to do that. For me to save it, it took me almost 2 full sittings. So I could save, like, if there's 30 chapters, it took, because you have to go into the draft, save it, get out. Go into the next one, save it, go out. Go to the next one, save it, go out. Go to the next one, save. And this thing is not fast. It's not that fast. It's like you hit click and then, and then it's like, okay, now go into the next one, you click, save. And I mean, sometimes you'd be sitting there for like a minute and you'd be like, sometimes you time out. It could be fucking 5 minutes. It's sitting there. Horrible.
Yeah.
And so it literally had to be there the whole 30 minutes to get to like 15. Yeah. And then I'd be like, fuck, this is going to take, and then the next time might take the whole thing. So, but yeah, people
don't understand how, like you said, the anxiety from writing a book in there.
Right. Yeah. Well, one time I wrote a book from this guy, Ephraim Deveroli. It's the guy who, did you see War Dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Jonah Hill.
Right. So Jonah Hill plays Ephraim Deveroli. I was in prison with him and I wrote his memoir.
That's a Jew.
Yeah, I know. Very. He was funny. He was telling me one time he was going to synagogue and he went and I went, "Why are you going to synagogue?" I was like, you don't even believe in God. And he looked at me and said, "The way I see it is that, if it's true, then I went. And if it's not, then, what does it hurt?"
Yeah.
And I went, "Yeah, I don't think that's how it works." He was always looking for an angle. Yeah. He goes, "I'm hedging my bets." Yeah. And I was like, "Okay,
that's funny."
But his book, when I sent it, it's all about arms and weapons and weapons. So imagine I have all of the names of all these weapons, and he wasn't just like AK-47s or 7.62 rounds. We're talking about Russian sniper. Sorry, not even Russian. This is when they were Soviet sniper rifles. Missile launcher. I mean, he's selling all kinds of stuff. So when I went to send it, all of our emails go through a sorting system.
Yeah.
So when I had to go send it to my publisher, I call him. I'm like, "Listen, man, I'm about to send all this stuff." And I explained it to him. I'm assuming it's going to get through because I printed out everything. I had a whole stack of the book that I was going to mail out in paper. And I was like, I may go to the shoe. Like, if they catch this and they see all the weapons, he's like, "Well, they'll realize it's a book, Matt." I went, no. They will realize that in 2 weeks or in 3 months from now. After they'll let me, they'll grab me, they'll throw me in the shoe. Then eventually they'll figure out, oh, this is a book. I said, but until then, I'll probably be in the shoe. I'm just letting you know, if you don't hear from me, that's what happened. And I said, also, I need to know as soon as possible that you got all of them. So I literally sent like 85 emails to this guy. It took several sittings to send all these different emails to him. And they came in batches. So he would get like, now you would think he'd get like chapter 1 all the way through. No, I got like 2 from chapter 15. I got all of chapter 7, 8, and 12. I've got, and then, it just took hours. Like it was like just before like count when I called him the last time. I'm like, hey bro, he's like, I got everything. I was like, okay. And then I was still thinking, I may still go to the shoe tomorrow. Yeah. Just because, it flags stuff.
I know. I worried about that too.
So
yeah, talking about the past.
Oh yeah, you're talking about drugs and things like that. You don't know. Yep. It's a problem.
I actually wasn't gonna even do this. I was working out with. I don't know if you'd ever interviewed the Zopound. A gang, it's like a gang in Florida, like a Haitian gang.
Yeah, Zoes are always Haitians. And they're all called Zo.
And he, one of the guys who was part of that, we used to work out together.
Okay.
In prison, and he wrote a book too.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, "Man, you have a crazy story. You should write a book." I'm like, And then they locked us down for like a week because someone got in a fight. I wrote the whole book during the lockdown, the whole thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, first of all, where are you ever? When are you ever going to have this much?
This time.
I would talk to these guys and say, yeah, I'm thinking about writing one. When I get out, I'm going to write one.
Yeah, right.
No, forget it. You're never writing a book.
You can't write a book. And to make it in a pure form of yourself, not, it's.
Yeah, not a time crunch, not a, it's tough. It's much, much harder to write a book about yourself than it is to write a book about someone. It's just to be so easy for me to write your book.
Yeah.
Because I see you how you are as opposed to the way you see you.
Exactly.
And so it's really difficult to step outside yourself and realize, because it's hard to say the kinds of things you need to say about yourself and admit those things to yourself, because nobody wants to admit that, I was jealous or that I was selfish or that I was, that I didn't care when I made this decision. I didn't give a fuck what happened to this person. I could give a shit. Never even entered my mind. Even worse, it never even occurred to me what was going to happen to them. I didn't even think about it. At least if you thought about it, they could say, okay, well, at least he does think about other people at some point. Like, no, it never even occurred to me what was going to happen to this person. Like you have to admit a lot of stuff. Like it's hard to write a book about you, so much. Every time I write a book about somebody else, it's like
easier,
it's way easier.
Yeah.
And of course, when they read the book, they're always upset. I don't think I've written a book yet where people weren't irritated at the things that my description of them or the things that I'd said or the things that, it's like, but that's the whole thing. You don't know who you are, No, I'm a good guy. I think that woman you kidnapped would disagree completely that you were a good. I think your wife that you got arrested 3 times for domestic violence, and apparently you've told me every single time it was her fault.
Yep.
A hard time believing that. Hey, you guys, I appreciate you watching. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified of videos just like this. Also, if you'd like to read Shawn's book, we are going to leave all of his links in the description box, including social media. Also, you can click on the link for Amazon, to his website. Shoot over there. You can buy the book. Is it on Amazon?
No. Well, it is, but we don't want it to be bought from there.
We don't want it bought from Amazon. So click on the link, go to his website. You can buy it directly off the website. And go to his socials and follow him and check out, what he's doing and the content that's on there. I really do appreciate you guys so much for watching. Thank you very much. See ya.